It's an inauguration that raises questions. On April 2nd, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi inaugurated a city worth more than $58 billion, which is planned to accommodate nearly 6 million inhabitants by 2050. Located 45 kilometers east of the capital, this new administrative capital is intended to relieve congestion in Cairo, a city of 22 million people. The problem? The city is still largely under construction, and only a few people actually live there. This immense open-air construction site symbolizes the feverish pace of development gripping Egypt. Huge railway projects, the largest museum in the world dedicated to a single civilization, the largest artificial river in the world. The list of monumental projects underway is long. For its future, Egypt is thinking big, very big. Some economists think it's too big, as these investments, mostly financed with public funds, are straining the country's budget to the point of creating a fragile economic position. As you'll see, today we're heading to the banks of the Nile to explore the largest construction projects underway in Egypt and their consequences for this nation of over 106 million people. Let's begin by looking at one of the prides of contemporary Egypt, the Great Egyptian Museum, under construction for more than 20 years. It is the largest museum in the world dedicated to a single civilization, covering nearly 500,000 square meters, or 50 hectares. Strategically located near the pyramids of Khufu, Khafre, and Mycerinos on the Giza Plateau, this museum is said to be a top tourist attraction. This area, which also includes the Sphinx of Giza, a massive sculpture 20 meters high and 74 meters long, is among the most visited places in Egypt. The museum will eventually connect directly to these sites via a footbridge. This cultural giant will replace the Egyptian Museum in Cairo's Tahrir Square, which was established in 1902 and has become too small for its 7,000 daily visitors. More than 1,550 architects and firms from 83 countries competed to design the new museum. The project was awarded to an Irish firm led by architect Jean Ping in 2005, with an original completion date of 2013. But delays caused by the 2008 financial crisis, the 2011 Arab Spring, and other challenges pushed the timeline back. Now, the museum is nearly finished, though its official inauguration date remains unclear. On this site, 6,000 workers labored around the clock to construct this behemoth with its striking facade of triangular panels reminiscent of the pyramids. The design plays with the pyramid motif, which is even incorporated into the building's luminous onyx wall that diffuses natural light into the interior. The entire structure reflects this geometric homage to ancient Egypt. At the entrance, a 40-meter-high triangular gate opens into a grand reception hall dominated by an 11-meter-tall, 80-ton statue of Ramses II, more than 3,200 years old. While the museum's Great Gallery, covering 22,000 square meters, remains closed to the public, parts of the museum opened in October, including the auditorium and gift shops. Among the treasures to be displayed are King Tutankhamun's full funerary collection, 4,500 artifacts exhibited together for the first time. Ultimately, the museum will house nearly 100,000 items and expects up to 5 million visitors annually. The initial €500 million budget has now doubled to €1 billion, but the museum is seen as vital for Egypt's tourism industry, which accounts for 10% of its GDP. The museum is also a diplomatic tool for Egypt as it seeks the return of antiquities scattered in museums worldwide, though progress on repatriation remains slow. Moving on, Egypt is also building a high-speed rail network, a €21 billion project involving Siemens and local partners. 3 lines spanning 2,000 kilometers will allow trains to travel at up to 250 kilometers per hour for passengers and 120 kilometers per hour for freight. The first line, known as the Suez Canal on rails, will connect the Red Sea to the Mediterranean, passing through the new administrative capital. The other lines, aimed at boosting tourism, will link Cairo to Luxor, Aswan, and Abu Simbel, as well as cities along the Red Sea. Finally, let's discuss Egypt's boldest project, the new administrative capital. Nicknamed the city, it's 7 times the size of Paris and is said to house Africa's tallest skyscraper, the iconic tower, along with the Octagon, a defense complex larger than the Pentagon. Although much of the city is incomplete, its projected cost of €60 billion is a significant strain on Egypt's finances, with most funding coming from the government due to a lack of foreign investors. Another massive initiative, the New Delta project, aims to combat food insecurity by redirecting agricultural wastewater to irrigate 9,000 square kilometers of new farmland. A 114-kilometer-long artificial river will support this, and the project includes the world's largest wastewater treatment plant. While Egypt's debt has tripled to $168 billion in the past decade, and inflation is skyrocketing, the government continues its ambitious development strategy, hoping these projects will reshape the nation's future. In exchange for an $8 billion loan from the IMF, Egypt must implement significant economic reforms. Despite economic challenges, Egypt continues its pursuit of monumental projects, hoping they'll secure its future. But will these grand ambitions pay off? Only time will tell. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from around the Africa and the world.